Welcome back. JE Systems Velocity Training. Here we're going to talk about something called lockdown. And we got two scenarios. One scenario is they want to have the active shooter. You might do this for government buildings, business buildings, schools, whatever. But it's a report of an active shooter. We want to go ahead, grab a card, go to a card reader, scan the card. All the doors are locked down. Doesn't matter if you have if you're a normal employee, you can't get in, you can't get out. You're stuck. The other scenario, one recently happened, COVID-19. At all these doors, people could come in through different entries. And so when to shut them all down, everybody comes to the front door, they get scanned in, temperature read. All these other doors, shut them down. So I'm going to show you how to do both of them. So first, we're going to start with the lockdown. Full lockdown, we're going to pretend we're doing it with the card. Let's see, I need to get in here and share my screen. All right, you should be seeing my screen now. And let's go ahead and minimize this so we can kind of start all over for you. I am in the administrator screen. If you don't have this up yet, you need to click on here for administrator. We're going to start in DigiTrack configuration, open up XNet, and then you'd open up the new port and then new Xbox. And then you should have a list of your panels. You may only have one panel, you may have, I don't know, 8 or 9 of them. That's all fine. We're going to start with the first panel, Annex Building. Right click, properties, give it a moment, pop-up window. We're going to go to control zones. We're going to edit control zone. We're going to go to the first one here that's not being used, control zone 1. We're going to give it a better name. We'll just call it Annex 4 doors. And we're going to click the 4 doors. Now, when do we want this card to be active? Like, can we come to it at midnight and start a lockdown, or can we come to it middle of the day? In this case, we're going to say it's always available to be locked down. So always. But if you only have certain times you wanted the lockdown to be active, you can set that. I don't know why you would, so we're just going to assume we're going to pick always. And okay, and okay. Let's do the same thing for the next panel, main building. Properties, give it a moment, control zones, and we're going to edit. And again, we're going to pick control zone 1 since it's not being used. We're going to call this main 8 doors. Time zone again will be always, because you can always lock it down. And we're going to select the 8 doors. Now, I'm selecting 8 doors, but if we have an interior door, we don't want to lock it down. We just want to lock down the exterior. Make sure you only pick the doors you want the lockdown to happen on. In this case, we're locking down all the doors. And hit OK. And OK. Now, with all the doors selected, we have a control zone. Now we need to be able to make a lockdown card. So we're going to go to Velocity Configuration, Credential Templates, and we're going to add a new credential. And this first credential is going to be called Lockdown Active. And right here, IDF, you choose how do you want to activate this. Now, in my scenario, we're going to use just a card. They're going to scan a card, the building's locked down. If you want to give them a code for a keypad, you can choose number 1. If you want to make sure they can have a choice, so you give them a code and a card, and either one works, number 6, keypad and card. If you want to make sure that it's not done by mistake, and you want to have them present a card, then put in a code for a lockdown, you can hit dual. But again, we're doing just a card in this scenario. So card it is. Now we're going to go to function. And we're going to add a function. And the default's access and momentary. We're going to change access to relay. And for function, there's an option here that says lockdown. Now right here, we're going to choose which panels are we affecting. And by default, it already picks the first one, Annex. Control zone, and there's the one we created, Annex 4 doors. Click it, hit add, and you should see it populate on the list. And automatically goes to the next building. Main building, control zone, the one we made. add again. Now they're both on this list. Hit OK and OK again. Now you should see it here on the list, lockdown active. But we need another one to release the lockdown. So we're going to add another credential. Again, give it a description, lockdown release. Again, we're using just a card for this. Function, we're going to add a new function. Again, we're going to change it to relay. And right below lockdown, scroll down, there's one for lockdown release. Again, we'll have to pick the right panel, what control zone, what doors are we affecting, add, main panel, control zone, what doors, add, and OK. And OK again. Now they're both on this list. So now when we go to Enrollment Manager, we'll just pretend John Doe was a security officer for the building. And we're going to give him a new credential from the template. Double click, and there we go. There's the lockdown release and active. So we're going to give him active, OK. Well, at this point, we would scan in a brand new card. It would show up here, and we would hit OK. And again, we'll do the same thing for release. Scan a different card and hit OK. For users I've had in the past, they've printed right on there, lockdown active and release. I've had other ones going to use a card and they're going to put some red tape on it and another one to put in the green tape for active and release. It's important you have both. Okay, so that's how you do a full lockdown and full release for like an active shooter. But in the event of like COVID-19, we want everyone to come through the front door only. You could make a whole new function and just select every door but the front door. Or hopefully this COVID's temporary and once it's over, we don't have to do this ever again. So in the case of we don't want to make a whole new credential for that, we want to just set this one time. You go to Digitrack configuration, XNet, and we want to open up new port and new Xbox and get to our different panels. Now, if you go open up the panels, it lists the doors. And we're just going to do this for the main building. If we look at the doors, we look over to the right, we have a listing. And we want everyone to come through the front door only, not the back door, and not the side doors. So pick the back door, right click, control functions, and down here we have a lockdown and lockdown release. So if we say lockdown, that back door is not going to open for anybody until we come back here and control functions again and lockdown release. And the door is back to normal. So you can pick and choose each door individually and lock it down. Again, and this one looks like we have a data closet and a cache vault. We're going to assume those are inside the building. We probably do not want to lock those down. Just the side doors, back door, leave the front door open. Any other questions? Feel free to contact JE Systems. Thank you for your time.